You're watching the Policy Times, world's first policy and development media. Since last almost 4.5 years, Policy Times is bringing to you the innovators, inventors, or people with unique, ideas who are contributing to the society. Today, we have two innovators and individuals with unique ideas who are doing exceptional or an exemplary work using the plastic waste. They're trying to bring solution out of the challenge that the country India is facing. Let me introduce Debarth Banerjee, who is the co-founder and director of Sampurn Earth Environment Solutions, and we have Mr. Ritvik Rao, who is also the co-founder and director of Sampurn Earth Environment Solutions. Sampurn Earth is trying to bring unique solutions. We will hear from them how Sampurn Earth is bringing solution to India's long-lasting challenge of managing plastic waste. I'll first request both of you to kindly give a brief intro of yourself before we start the discussion, starting with Debarth.
Yes. Thank you, Akram. Thank you for the introduction. So just to build on it, so Sampurn Earth is an organization that is running for last 10 years right now. So we have been both with our third partner has been the co-founding directors of the company. But since last 10 years, we have got lots of other people in the journey. And together we have been able to build an organization right now, which works with municipal corporations, the informal waste markets, brands and manufacturers. And together we are trying to drive towards solutions for not only for plastic waste, but also for other waste categories, organic waste, where we do composting, biogas, as well as different kinds of dry waste. But plastic waste is definitely one of the major focus, and I'm glad that we will be speaking more on that today.
Hello, everyone. So I'm Ritvik. I'm Ritvik Rao, one of the co-founders of Sampurn Earth Environment Solutions. And just to the journey, we both shared the same journey. Just to add to it, whatever we are doing, it's still in a very nascent stage. A lot more needs to be done as a company and as a nation and a planet before we satisfactorily combat this problem of plastics. Yeah, so thank you for inviting, and I would love to speak on the topic today.
Let us start the discussion. The first question that I want to ask both of you to share your views. Yeah, so is plastic waste neutrality. India has adopted a couple of innovative policies and very aggressive policies in the forms of EPR, and then there are many provisions that within EPR is coming again. In January, another provision is expected to come. How do you think, given India's many innovative and aggressive policy framework, India's roadmap towards achieving plastic waste neutrality?
Sure. So I think this is a very layered question to answer. I'll try to address it step by step. So first of all, I'll talk about the policies aspect of it. And I think we have seen the policies, we have seen the times when the policies were not there at all. So when we started the organization, waste management or even plastic waste management was seen more as a philanthropic approach. Like somebody as a good CSR project, some organization will take it up, or some motivated community will drive better waste management within their housing societies or something of that sort. But in the last 5 years, this has really grown, where since the advent of the 2016 solid waste management rules by the Supreme Court, or the plastic waste management rules by the Ministry of Environment and Forest, many things have been taking shape much better. So when I say that taking shape, so something which was a goodwill driven project earlier now is part of the compliances, and which is also in recent times we have seen that non-compliances have also attracted fines, closure of factories. This have all happened. But I think so we are definitely getting into a space which is tightening the roles and responsibilities for different people, And many of these policies which are written, those are very good from the point of view. They're very directive in what needs to be done, what volumes needs to be done, what kind of actions are demanded from different stakeholders. And waste management is such a space where it's not only one person who can be made responsible for, or one organization. When we see waste is something which is generated by a lot of people out there, the citizens are definitely a part of it. The municipal corporations or the urban local bodies or the panchayats who are in charge of the waste management in that place is definitely also part of the stakeholder groups.
Now, a question to both of you. What is Sampurna Arth doing, or what are the projects or good practices Sampurna Arth has been taking towards achieving plastic waste neutrality in India?
Okay, so see, we primarily work in three segments. One being biogas, other being the O&M projects that we take around dry waste and the wet waste, and third being dry waste operations, wherein we do collections from bulk waste generators. We do collections on the behalf of corporates under their EPR programs. There's a strong awareness component associated with all the projects that we do, be it like we see our main vision is to map all the stakeholders whenever we are implementing a project, be it the consumers, the corporate, the government, and the informal the sector of waste management that is primarily doing the most of the work under recycling and plastic collections in the country. So, and then so apart from EPR, now we are also into setting up of material recovery facilities, dry waste centers, where we get the material collected, pre-process it, do better segregations, baling, and then from this year onwards, we are also getting into recycling ourselves, because unless the whole thing is circular, somewhere just doing EPR and sending the plastic for either burning or just sending into a recycler and not really knowing what is happening with it at the end of the day did not make much sense to us. So we would always wanted to ourselves ensure that the whole process is circular, and we are doing it ourselves. So granulation of plastics and going one step further, product manufacturing ourselves is something that we are doing right now and seriously looking to expand in the coming years. Yeah, and as I said, social inclusion of the informal waste pickers, the scrap dealers, the informal waste market as a whole is something we are really looking into. Wherever we set up projects, our models are primarily based around forming of cooperatives and self-help groups of these people and giving out the contracts to local people who are working there, rather than getting our workforce from the cities and other places, so that they are empowered to like economically, and they have better working conditions. And we also have a better chance to succeeding in a new geography.
I think Vishaka has a question to ask with regards to that. Vishaka, can you ask?
Yes, so thank you so much, Akram sir, for allowing me to ask certain questions to our clients. So thank you so much. So my question will be like, what is the future, and how this plastic can be relevant to the society, and how what will be the future of the organization and recycling companies after certain policies made by the government to ban plastic products and plastic bags and all, and convert and switching them with the eco-friendly packs and materials. So what is the, so I have these two questions with them. Thank you so much.
Right, Vishakha. So I can quickly touch on them. So actually, when plastic came into existence, it came into existence as eco-friendly material in itself. So why eco-friendly? Because it has a very low carbon footprint. First of all, for production, it can also be recycled back. So the recyclability is also pretty high for most of the categories of plastics. It's also durable. It's very low weight, and it can be, so the transportation be lesser, the transportation costs can be lesser. But I think the same boons that plastic had is also something which is hurting plastic at this point of time, where the low cost and is, so it's very widely produced. It's a very long life, which is also causing a lot of trouble. Um, but having said so, like we see this as a problem which is primarily exists because not plastic as a material itself, but a lack of systems and structures, how as a society we consume and dispose stuff. So it's as a material, it's one of the better materials, we would say, like as per our understanding. So for example, when we compare it with other eco-friendly options, when you said paper or cloth, actually these are much higher in carbon footprint. Paper is definitely not the best replacement for plastics when we look from the carbon emissions point of view, or any other point of view, water consumption, energy consumption point of view. So plastic is something which we need to figure out a system where it's collected properly, it's segregated properly, and it's sent to proper recycling channels where it can come back into the economy back again and that's how we establish a circular economy, or a circular production and consumption system. So plastics in itself, we don't see any problem with the material as long the systems and the processes around that are set up properly. And it's not like plastics are not collected and recycled. The informal waste markets, which we work a lot with, are the people who are doing it. And many European countries is not achieving the level of plastic recycling for rigid plastics and many other plastics, which is actually taken and handled by this informal waste market. So it's already coming back into the ecosystem.
Thank you so much, Ritvik and Devarta, for sharing your views on key important topics that we try to address. And as Ritvik and both Devarta shared, that achieving plastic waste neutrality needs a collective effort. And so is addressing the issue of informal workforce in the waste management. So, we should not see informal workforce as just one job or activity. We should see this as a movement. So if we can address this as a movement, we can achieve what we want to achieve, and both can be achieved together. So thank you. Keep watching the Policy Times.